Hi, everyone. I'm Christopher Thornycroft with Redwood Logistics, and this is the Redwood Rundown for the week of September 30th, 2024. Port strike's over, at least for now. Don't worry about it being late over here. We were here anyway. So now the union members will go back to work. I think that it's at least somewhat suggested that maybe it will not be an incredibly urgent, labor-intensive work. We'll see what happens over there, but negotiations will continue. There will be more talks at least until January 15th, and we'll see where we're at that point in time. But for right now, what happens in the short term? Friday through the weekend, Monday, probably into Tuesday, maybe even Wednesday, you're going to see a bunch of people really rush to get that freight off of those containers and out where they need to go, whether that's into warehouses, DCs, or other places. Likely you will see a little bit more truckload freight come into the market. Why? Because of those delays. They may not be able to use the rail service may not be fast enough. So it's going to be a sprint on over. You probably will see a little bit of East Coast rates rising, just a touch. It's not saying that they're going to go catastrophically high, but you'll probably see East Coast rates rise just a little bit because of capacity eventually being kind of swallowed on up for the next couple of days. But carriers have been sitting there on the East Coast just sitting there waiting for freight. And the rates coming off of the East Coast were not pretty. Now, what we're watching from this point on, yes, a couple of days of a little bit of a chaotic show, but then it should normalize by the end of next week. And really what we're watching is all that freight that was pushed on over to the West Coast. We're looking at a lot of TEUs coming on into Los Angeles that 2 weeks from now. That is going to be a huge push. And essentially, the data is telling us that peak season is back to normal after being down for the last couple of years and not really having a peak season. So that means we should continue to see freight throughout October, and that should be pretty good for freight demand as Q4 goes on. And again, one of the things that we'd note is that in Q4, because of the time sensitivity of a lot of the freight that's there, you will see more freight likely be converted from intermodal over to the over the rail. From intermodal to over the road. Sorry, it's late over here. And so that will lift up those dry van volumes. So keep an eye out for that. That's about it for tonight. One thing that we want to say, if you're in a town where Sturgill Simpson is coming to town, you got to go see him. He's the best guy touring right now. I've seen some great shows recently. I caught St. Vincent at the Metro. She's a legend. But you got to see Sturgill. It's really cool to see a guy absolutely in his prime with an amazing band. You don't have to love country music. It's not my favorite type of music, but Sturgill's for real. Enjoy yourselves. Take care, everybody.